Welcome back to Mona's Take. I am Mona Rose, your host, and we are here to talk about everything reality TV. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything I have coming up. I want to welcome and thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you for sticking this out with me. I look forward to what the future brings. Last night, Misha and Todrick were talking, and Misha's telling Todrick that the reason Lamar and Todd are so mad is because she threatens their manhood. She's starting to get just as bad as Todrick. But I mean, I guess if she's an MMA fighter or whatever, that, she has to keep up that persona of being a badass. And I told you about the whole argument between her and Todd about who talks more, Todd or Todrick. Well, yeah, they're still talking about that. And Misha tells Todrick that she feels like when he talks that it's relevant, that it's engaging, and that it's interesting and important. And when Todd and Lamar talk, they're just talking crap that doesn't matter, just to be talking to hear themselves talk. And oh Lord, now Todrick is saying that Lamar and Todd are acting homophobic towards him. And they are saying things just because he's gay, making jokes just because he's gay. And that they don't do that to anyone else. It's only him. That, of course, they don't do that to Carson, but that he can't be Carson because Carson's 50-something years old, and he's had time to mature. And Todrick's still young. He hasn't had that time. So, therefore, he's saying that everyone in the house treats Carson better than they do him. It's okay if Carson's gay. They don't make jokes at him. They don't come at him disrespectful. But that they do come at Todrick disrespectful. And he goes on to say that they judge him for what he wears and they make jokes about it. And they say they wouldn't be wearing anything like that. And like, what the hell are you wearing? That looks awful. And they don't have the right to tell him what to wear because that's his clothes and he'll wear what he wants. Fast forward a few days back when he was all over Shayna about what she wears. And there's a lot of rumor and speculation that the producers have given Todrick a heads up about what's going on the outside world, Twitter, how people are feeling about him. Because he spent the last couple of days, talking up Mariah, talking up Teddy, talking up Shayna, talking up Kilpatrick, explaining why he did what he did with each person. So it doesn't feel so good when someone's telling you what to wear or judging you because of what you wear, does it? Then Todrick and Misha go on to start making fun of Lamar. I don't think I've been this angry out of all the stunts that Todrick and Misha have pulled, all the bad talk that they've been doing about everybody, as I was when they started making fun of Lamar. They start talking about the way that he walks around the house and that he's always grunting and making noise and that he can't move without grunting and acting like he's a 90-year-old man. And they just go on and they actually start walking like him and grunting and all of this. And Todrick starts talking about how they had to take a shower at the same time in the different shower stalls when they were tethered together, and that the whole time that they were showering, he couldn't even enjoy his shower because of the noises that Lamar was making every time he moved. It's just wrong. They don't know what that man's been through. I don't know. I don't know. It just really made me angry. Cynthia's talking to Lamar, and she starts talking about how they only had one shot to get Misha out, and that she thinks that they blew it, that they could have gotten Shayna out at a later time, and they should have just stuck with the plan and went after Misha. Hindsight's always 20/20, and I'm glad that Cynthia's realizing that now because she knows that Carson, or speculates that Carson's going home. So now they're starting to think about, oh, well, did I make the right decision when I did that? We could have got her out anytime. Why did we have to do that now? She says we blew our chance. That's the only shot we would have had. They know it. Todrick and Misha are still having their conversation outside, and he's telling her that he thinks if they were on a regular season that he'd be killing it, that he'd be doing so good because they would actually see what he does for gameplay. And I'm going to tell you, Todrick's gameplay has been amazing. He has made sure that his target that he wanted out has gone out every week and has not been HOH once. He's playing a hell of a game. If that's all it was, the gameplay is awesome. He didn't need to do anything else. It's his personality. And I'm reading a lot on Twitter about how there's been villains in the past and nobody raked them as far or dragged them as far as we have Todrick over the stuff that he's done and said. And I'm sorry, but that's just not right. I know there's been villains in the past and we have dragged them just as hard. It's the personal attacks. That's what's getting him dragged. It's not just gameplay. It's personally attacking people's morals, their ethics, their family, and all that. It's not gameplay. That's why America doesn't like him, because he is hateful. Anyway, the conversation with Misha and Todrick is still going on, of course. And Todrick starts talking about how the cookout is going to owe him so much money when he gets out of there because he didn't tell them he wasn't charging them for staying at his house. That he was just going to hand them a bill. Sorry guys if there's any background noise. I'm trying my best to cut it out. I am at my sister's apartment and it is very noisy around here evidently at night. So I'm going to try to cut as much of it out as I can. I apologize if you hear anything in the background. Dogs barking, trucks roaring, whatever the case may be. But I am going to try to cut most of it out. So anyway, Todrick says that, the cookout's going to owe him so much money when they get out of the Big Brother house. And he didn't tell them they didn't have to pay rent while they were staying at his house. And that he's just going to hand them a bill. Last time I checked, aren't they house sitting for him? Do you normally have to pay rent when you house sit for someone? Like, dude, get over yourself. And they literally went on for 2.5 hours. I honestly had to fast forward through some of it because I just got tired of hearing his voice. And Misha's voice, because everything was nasty that they were saying. Misha says that it bothers her that Todd and Lamar don't respect Todrick because he's gay. That's not the case. They don't respect Todrick because Todrick is an asshole. That's why they don't respect Todrick. And she goes on to say how unaware they are of how disrespectful they are to women. And then Todrick goes on the whole rant about Todd saying that Chris Kirkpatrick was henpecked because he was worried about what his wife would think of keeping a dirty house. Excuse me, you dragged Chris Kirkpatrick more than anybody in that house could when you brought his son into it. But now you want to take the high road? Please. That's why I think production has talked to him. Because every bad thing he said about the ones that have been voted out so far, he's starting to backtrack. And when he came out of the diary room, I don't know what was going on, but he went in happy and he came out. And you clearly see that he was just visibly upset, mad. So I think production is letting him know what's going on the outside world as far as the hate. And I had to click off of that for a little while. Like I said, I get tired of hearing their voices. And Cynthia and Todd were talking. And Cynthia asked Todd how long his deal was with Misha. And Todd said the final 4. And Cynthia said 4 o'clock. Oh, bless her heart. I love her to death, though. I do love Cynthia Bailey. Always will. I'm sorry, Cynthia. Heal. Then I flip back over to the conversation between Todrick and Misha again. And Todrick is going down the list of house guests in the order that they were voted out and was saying why each house guest didn't respect him. We made excuses why Teddy didn't respect him. Made excuses why Mariah didn't respect him. Shayna, Chris, and how they just bullied him. You can't. I can't in my head make this make sense. I honestly think this is his personality. And I feel sorry for anyone that has to work with him. Then he goes on and he starts talking about they just say the meanest things to him that they wouldn't say to anyone else. That Lamar tries to paint a picture that Todrick doesn't know anything about the black culture or the black race. And that he doesn't care to know. Because Lamar asked him about somebody, and I don't know who the person was myself. It had to have been an NBA star from what I gathered. And Todrick didn't know who it was. And so Todrick is saying that Lamar was making it seem as if he doesn't know anything about black history or black culture. And he doesn't care to know. Dude, how many times do I have to say it? Get over yourself. Really? Then Misha goes on to talk. And she says, yeah, you could never have an intellectual conversation for sure with Lamar and Todd, depending on the subject and what his bias is. I mean, they sat out there for 2 hours and all they talked about was how nobody respects Todrick And Misha was his biggest champion right there behind you. I see what they do to you. They're just so mean to you. They bully you. They just say things that are so disrespectful, and they don't even realize that they're so unaware. And Todrick is like, yeah, Todd keeps making excuses as to why he didn't win this comp, or he didn't win that comp, or why he came so close here or there. And he's like, and then when you finally do win a competition, yeah, we don't want to hear about it for a solid week that you like to drink nasty shit. How salty is that? And that damn key that he's wearing, I saw him wearing it on a necklace. I don't know what the reasoning is behind it. I don't know. It may be something a boyfriend gave him, or a mother gave him, or a dad gave him, or I don't know what the significance of that key is, because I've seen it around his neck a couple times and thought he had HOH, and he didn't. And then tonight he's got it hanging from his ear like a full door key. Why would you hang something like that from your ear? It's got to be heavy, number one. But I guess to each his own. It's just, maybe it's the younger generation and it's a thing, and I just don't know it because I'm old. I don't know. So Carson and Cynthia come up with a new plan. And you guys saw that on the episode tonight, where they offered Todrick their votes in finale night if he makes it to the end, if he would keep Carson tonight, because all they needed was him. Right. Cynthia would have voted out Lamar, so all they needed was one more vote, and they could have got him out. I was really surprised that Todrick didn't make that deal. I guess he is ride or die with Misha. I honestly expect him to stab her in the back every episode. It's like, okay, is this the episode? Is this the episode where he turns his back on her? Where he throws her under the bus? So I have to say kudos to Todrick for sticking with his number one and not backstabbing her. Although I don't want either one of them to win. And that's probably what's going to happen, to be honest. And it would almost be worth it if Todrick was in the final two and lost. But then no, because he would still be getting some sort of prize money. So I guess my hope would be that Misha was voted out 4 and Todrick was voted out at 3. And then neither one of them get any money, and 2 people were at the end. So we saw in the episode that Todd was HOH, Lamar and Carson were on the block. Misha won veto. She didn't use it, kept nominations the same, and Carson was voted out. And honestly, watching the episode was hard. I don't know if it was more frustrating to watch Cynthia and Carson not know the game than to watch them, or to watch them think now that they know how to play the game and that they're playing it. You know, Carson thought he did a really big thing by Misha keeping the nominations the same. Like, dude, she was going to do that anyway. And that interview with Jerry, what the hell was up with that? He was straight borderline, everybody's great, everybody's good, nobody's bad, da-da-da-da, all this. But I think Julie was actually grilling him, hoping to get a reaction out of him about Todrick and Misha and their gameplay. And he wouldn't bite. And I was like, is she really, I think she was trying to get him to admit or to say, you know, what was going on. And he wouldn't. Everybody's good, everybody's great, life goes on. Waste a few minutes. I guess they didn't have enough footage that they could actually put on TV. It almost felt staged, but I'm sure all of it is. Now, Carson's voted out. There was a tweet the other day from somebody that said, and I think that they actually work for CBS or something, or they're getting information from somebody that works at CBS, and was saying that Julie Chen was going to grill Carson if he got voted out about the whole Shayna deal, and that she couldn't wait. Well, she did. I was happy. And I don't know if y'all noticed it or not, but as she's talking, you know, she says, why would you believe someone's word over someone's actions? Now, if you remember, I told you a couple of days ago on one of the feeds that Todrick was telling everybody in there how Julie Chen grills people when they come out, when they play stupid games or whatever, and that she'll call them on it. So Carson's sitting in that hot seat, and she's saying, why would you believe someone's word over someone's actions? Why would you believe Todrick and Misha's word over Shayna's actions? And as she's doing this interview, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but Carson's demeanor started to change. I think by the end of it, he realized, I've just been played. Because Julie asked him, if you go home and you watch this and you find out that you were betrayed, are you going to say, oh well, good game move, good gameplay, or are you going to feel angry? And his whole facial expression should change. And he said a little bit of both. And then he says that he's going to go watch the feeds. And Julie said something about, yeah, you have a lot of them or something like that. And he said, yeah, I feel like I have a lot of catching up to do. And Julie said, yes, you do. And that's, if you'll notice, when Misha came on with her goodbye message, he looked at Julie and said, I may have poisoned the cake. Which was funny, but I think he finally got it. He finally sat there and said in his head, son of a bitch, I've been played. That's what I took away from it. Let me know what you guys thought if you watched it tonight, what his demeanor looked like, how it went from one point to the other point by the end of the interview. I don't think all of the house guests are getting goodbye messages, and I don't know why. I hated to actually see the betrayal on his face because I think he finally realized it. I hated to see that look on Carson. I honestly did. As bad as they messed over Shayna, as bad as they messed up the game and everything, I still don't want to see him or Cynthia hurt. I love them both dearly. I just don't want to see them hurt. America's favorite player started tonight. If you missed it, I made my vote for Shayna, and my vote will be for Shayna every day. I'm going to be voting every day for Shayna. Tell me in the comments who you would like to see win and who you're going to vote for. All right, everybody, we're getting to the section of the video where I'm going to have the HOH spoiler. If you do not want to know who HOH is, you want to wait for the episode, I suggest you pause the video and come back and complete it once you have watched the show. I'll give you guys a few minutes and gals to get out of the video so I don't run anything for you. All right, the moment we all dreaded. Yep, it's going to be a rough week. Todrick won HOH. I just turned it on long enough to see who won HOH. I saw the key around his neck, confirmed it, made sure he was the HOH. And I'm like, I have to cut the feeds. I can't take any more of him tonight. So I'll catch up tomorrow and see what all's going on tonight. Sometime tomorrow, and I'll post another video tomorrow night. But so we've got a great week with Todrick being HOH. What the hell could happen, right? All right, well, you guys have a good night, and as always, much love.